Good afternoon, everybody. How are you today? And welcome to the latest edition of Drew Mania Live. So great to have you with us. For this Tuesday, the 24th day of January, year 2023. And of course, this is yours truly, Andrew L. Perry. Oh, yes, indeed. As always, coming to you live and answer for the busy streets of New York City as I chat to you what is happening in the world of sports. And by the way, for those of you, this is the first show I'm doing of the 2023 season. So happy belated New Year to everybody. I hope everybody have a tremendous holiday and everything. But we here to chat to you what's happening in the world of sports. We have plenty of football to get to. We'll get to the championship Sunday. And we'll get to the championship games in a second. But let's start off with the divisional games. And I'm gonna spend times on two games today, for the most part, because I think the two games were the best game, were the best game of the whole weekend. Jacksonville, the Jaguars Chiefs, and the Cowboys 49ers. As far as I'm concerned, the Giants and the Eagles, is not necessary to talk about. We all know what happened. We all know what happened to the Giants. The Giants really smack them in the face as the Giants. Giants had a tremendous season. They got blown out. We all know the Eagles are a better team. There's no question about it. The Giants had a tremendous season, despite the fact the last 5 years they've been in last place and they have been a losing season. For nobody expect the Giants to get to the divisional round to face the number one seed Philadelphia Eagles is really remarkable. But the disappointing part, honestly, is the competitiveness that you need. Now, listen, different people will tell you, the Week 18 final game against the Philadelphia Eagles in the regular season finale, the Giants should have played their starters, because if they would have played the starter, maybe the game would have been different. I don't know if that's the case or not, but it wouldn't make the difference. I think the Eagles will find a way to win, and let's face it, the Eagles are just a better team than the Giants. Listen, I'm not an Eagles fan by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not a big fan with the Eagles, but let's call sometimes we gotta stop being delusional as fan. There comes a point as a fan you gotta realize, you know what, the Eagles got a good team, and they're a very good team. They got Jalen Hurts is playing lights out, playing his best game. Obviously his best game of the season, and there's nothing else to say about that. As far as Buffalo's concerned, as far as Buffalo beating Cincinnati, listen, Cincinnati is in a whole nother level. All right, Cincinnati is trying to get back to the Super Bowl, and who would have saw this coming? That Buffalo, but it's no surprise that Buffalo lost, because Buffalo, despite what they've been through a lot this year, from the Darnell Hamlin, situation, being snowed in, playing from Detroit, the shootout earlier in the season. So Buffalo have dealt with a lot, and have overcome a lot, to say the least. And look, the Cincinnati Bengals, you could say, was pretty much a better team, and like I say, Joe Burrow is starting to become one of the premier quarterbacks, if not already one of the peer running backs and one of the superior quarterbacks in the league. I said running back, my mistake. Quarterbacks of the league, as he is playing lights out as the Cincinnati Bengals and the Kansas City Chiefs. I am really looking forward to it, because we all know last year Cincinnati, if it wasn't for Mahomes turning the ball over, Kansas City will probably go to the Super Bowl for the third straight year. So It would be really, really fascinating. And the Bengals have not lost a play, have not lost a home road, have not lost a home road, have not lost a road, road playoff game yet. So everything has remained to be seen. So Cincinnati looking to get back to the Super Bowl. And speaking of getting back to the Super Bowl, let's start off with the Cowboys 49ers game. Was, a lot of history with these teams. Their rivals, of course, the Cowboys and the 49ers from the 90s, the 70s. This game was, well, I don't know if it's as good as it gets. And you want to see Dak Prescott lost the game for y'all? I personally really don't feel that way to a certain extent. Yes, he could have made some better decisions. Yes, it looks bad when you got outplayed by a third string quarterback who is a rookie, which is Brock Purdy, who's playing lights out, by the way. And he did not play well, and Brock Purdy is the reason why the 49ers did not win that game. The number one defense in the National Football League, which is the San Francisco 49ers, they scared the you-know-what out of Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott moved the ball a little bit here and there, but there are some missed opportunities they could have capitalized. In the third quarter, the third quarter, I'm gonna skip it. I'm gonna skip the 2 quarters. The third quarter, where you have a special teams fumble around the 30 or around the 20-yard line, and even though they got a field goal, I don't care how good the defense are. You got to capitalize in that situation. You have to capitalize in that situation. You cannot leave points You cannot leave 3 points against a team like the San Francisco 49ers like that. You can't leave points on the board like that. That's a couple of things. Yes, Dak Prescott. I would like to see, even though he's not a running back, and I know coaches don't like when quarterback. Usually, not in this modern day NFL, but in the old days, coaches don't really like the quarterbacks run the football. The quarterbacks get injured. But I would like to see Dak Prescott run the football a little bit more for a first down because the turnovers really hurt them. It really hurt them, and is the reason why. And part of me is the reason why they lost the game. Is the reason why they lost the game. And towards the end of the game, I think clock management as well. Last year, they lost to the 49ers for the same reason. Even though it's different, even though the result was different, but it feels to me the same result as last year, because the Cowboys had a chance to take the lead, and they did not capitalize. Because what Schultz was not aware of and give the 49ers defense credit for paying attention. When you hit backwards, the clock will still move. If you get out of bounds, you gotta move forward. You have to move forward. You cannot excuse me. You cannot step out of bounds. You cannot try to out of bounds and pedal back, because now the Cowboys is in a difficult position where we have to throw the ball down the field, and you have to make something happen. And we all know the results of that game. We all know the result of that game, and it did not occur. To me, like I said, Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott? I'm gonna go back to Dak Prescott for a second. Dak Prescott and Brock Purdy. You cannot get outplayed by you. You want to say a lot of people. I listen to Mad Dog. I watched just watched the highlights on YouTube saying, I don't see how Dak Prescott was outplayed by Brock Purdy. How is he outplayed? Brock Purdy didn't. This is the first game this year that Brock Purdy did not throw a touchdown. So how he outplayed him? Yes, Dak Prescott was part of the reason why the Cowboys lost the game, but y'all acted like Brock Purdy was phenomenal. He wasn't. In the first couple of series, the Cowboys defense was all over him. And the 49ers didn't really do nothing until the end, until the fourth quarter. So what are we talking about? And I'm like, yo, and sometimes some guys, when they watch the games, and especially some of the radio guys and some of the guys in the sports media, and you say to yourself sometimes, y'all watching the same game I am? What game y'all watching? Because this is not this game. Because I didn't see not one time how Brock Purdy was outplayed Dak Prescott. Yes, Dak Prescott didn't have a good game because of the 3 turnovers. You want to say he got outplayed because of the 3 turnovers? Yeah, but he did not outplay them because of that. Dak Prescott has some moments, but Dak Prescott should have capitalized on a couple of opportunities. Throws probably he should have had back. What can you say about the Cowboys defense, though? The Cowboys defense did a sensational job against the 49ers. Even though their offense is not elite. But listen, Greg Kittle made one of the most unbelievable catches I have seen in a long time. Christian McCaffrey in check. Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel didn't really do nothing in this game. So for the most part, the 49ers, in my opinion, really capitalized on the Cowboys' mistakes. And the one thing we need to add to, in the end of the game, the penalties killed. If it wasn't for the penalties, the Cowboys will probably score the touchdown and probably win the game. The reason why the Cowboys lost the game because the same way they did last year, the penalties killed them. The penalties killed them. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They lost the game because they didn't do what they supposed to do, and the penalties really killed it. They have 7 penalties, especially on defense, and it's safe to say the defense of the Cowboys really helped the 49ers offense. Otherwise they would not score 3 points. They would not kick a field goal. They would not have to kick the field goal at the end of the game, and the Cowboys still had a chance to win. So the Cowboys 49ers game, it was a winnable game for the Cowboys, but as usual, they didn't capitalize a lot. Now, before I close this segment with the Cowboys 49ers, my brother wants McCarthy fired, and I do not blame him on this regard. I do not blame him in this regard. Their clock management was poor. Their clock management was poor in my eyes, and the penalty killed them. It killed them last year in the wild card game against the same 49ers team. It killed them now. It killed them, and that's the reason why they're sitting at home now, about to watch the NFC Championship game as the Eagles and the 49ers about to play. Now listen, this Sunday coming is going to be a fascinating championship game, and I'm looking forward to it. Both games. Bengals Chiefs is going to be fascinating. Burrow versus Mahomes. Even though how 100% Mahomes is, we don't know yet. But as far as we heard from Andy Reid, The ankle seemed to be good, but how limited Patrick Mahomes is, and you don't need to say much about Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's in another planet. He's in his own world, and we just living in it. So that's just and the Bengals are have swagger, and rightfully so. They just beat the Buffalo Bills. They just dominated the Buffalo Bills. Dominated. I mean, dominate the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills had no answer whatsoever from the get-go. And as the NFC Championship game is going, don't be surprised. It's going to be a low scoring game. That same game, the game that you saw on Sunday with the 49ers Cowboys, don't be surprised if the game is going to end the same way. It could end the same way, because I could see the 49ers going to the Super Bowl. And by the way, this is the 49ers' third, under Mike Shanahan, this is their third NFC Championship game he is going. So now they got a chance to make something happen, and and I'm going to tell you right now, the Bengals scared me a little bit. The Bengals really scared me a little bit. And I like the chances. And on First Take earlier, I was watching which legacy need to prove more, or something like that. Which legacy needs to prove more, Mahomes or Burrow? Well, after Sunday, we're going to find out. I mean, I will probably say, well, Burrow already went to the Super Bowl, but this is all more Mahomes. Mahomes already won the Super Bowl. If the Chiefs don't beat the Bengals, you could pretty much say this is Joe Burrow. This is Joe Burrow time now. So this is all Mahomes. So let's see on Sunday. And with that, that's going to do it for this edition of Drew Mania Live. Drew Mania, thanks for watching. If you want to listen to this episode again, please go to your Apple Podcast or wherever you listen to your podcast. And please go on YouTube, link it to my channel, Andrew Perry, and like and subscribe my channel. And comment if you feel free to comment if you want. Until next time, this is Andrew Perry. Always saying to you, shalom, let peace go with you, and I'll talk to you in the next Drew Mania Live. So long, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday.